Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
AKAPADers, good morning. We got something really special today. A film that I had heard about. We hear this from time to time. A film of old that I heard about that I thought I would never see, thought it would never get released, thought it would never come to the world in mass. It's 2023, and it's the Toxic Avenger. If you guys haven't noticed, that's the movie, by the way. If you find AKAPAD or film buffers out there, haven't noticed, we're in 2025 right now. This film, I wasn't even sure it existed. A lot of people weren't. People had seen it. There were reports on it. You can go to IMDb, and you would see that Elijah Wood, Toxic Avenger. Kevin Bacon, Toxic Avenger. Peter Dinklage, Toxic Avenger. In the filmography, Macon Blair, he made 2 films in 2023. Now he's also like a Peter Dinklage creator. He's been involved with a couple films that involve Dinklage, Brothers, with Josh Brolin, and what's the other one? We have Toxic Avenger and what's it, Small Crimes, or with Elijah Wood. I don't feel at home in this world anymore. I believe I tried to watch that one. We will talk about Brothers eventually, and we will. He also did Hold the Dark in 2018, which I'm pretty sure we did for the 31 Days of Dread at one time. Like that movie, potentially too much of an open-ended ending, but the point is, at one point we could go through IMDb and see this movie. We can go through Taylor Page. She's Welcome to Derry right now. She's one of the girls, the mother. But where was this movie? It's a little bit like Megapolis. Megapolis comes out, Francis Ford Coppola. It hits digital for a very brief time, maybe for 2 weeks. Disappears. Then, will it ever come back? Will you ever see it? What opportunity can people have for themselves to see this movie? In preparation for this, on this podcast, we've done a little bit of a deep dive on Toxic Avenger, trying to dissect, because I do view Toxic Avenger, the original, as one of the most important independent movies we have here in America. So we finally get this remake. Peter Dinklage as Toxic Avenger. It works. I think he's a good comedic actor. But then the film comes. It doesn't get distributor. And a couple of years go by. But in preparation, because when this dropped on Amazon, I lost my mind. Paid the $20, sat down to watch it. And I'm happy I explored what the Troma film was. And it's so surreal watching this movie, seeing the legendary logo come up. And you're like, wow, like we're in a major Hollywood production. And it's the Toxic Avenger, Lloyd Kaufman. I mean, what a coming out moment for him. But here's the wild thing. Troma is cited as one of the production companies. And we get some Troma isms in this. I would say, I believe I watched the rated R version. I think there's a unrated, more violence. I want to say, if this movie was more violent, it would feel a little bit more like classic Troma. Because we want this Troma, I mean, we'll call it a Troma sense of humor. this movie doesn't have Toxie as the narrator. I think that's what this is missing. We don't have a clear winning villain. Kevin Bacon has his back up against the wall. He's trying to scramble, save his company, but he's dumping all of this toxic waste into Tromaville, which, thinking about it, isn't called Tromaville in this. We have just these very funny, but the location title cards in this movie, very funny. It'll just be like random wood patch. I'm exaggerating a little. Feel free to fact check me on that. So in this movie, I feel like we have a little bit of a mixed bag of tone of the Troma flavor. If you watch any of the original Toxic Avengers and then you watch this movie, there is something undefinable, truly Troma about those movies from the 80s, movies from the 90s. The entire Troma arc, we'll call it, the Troma verse. Sergeant Kabuki Man. Some of it's connected, some of it's not. Some of it's crossover worthy, all of it. It's a really tough shell to crack. Watching this, it doesn't put this movie above Turbo Kid nor Hobo with a Shotgun. And you guys know how much I love those movies. You would think that something like Toxic Avenger would be at the absolute peak of all of this. Did the remake miss an opportunity? Because the remake has floated around for a while. They had some really big names attached to it here and there. I mean, I think getting Kevin Bacon attached and having Elijah Wood in this is huge. At the time, Taylor Page, knowing that she would ascend, get deeper into Hollywood, huge. So it had the right combo. It had the right level of update, the right level of Hollywood in this movie. But we're not quite there. Peter Dinklage plays Winston Goose, and you know, okay, Winston Goose, that's his name. He's trying to be a dad. Some of like his connection with his kid or disconnection with his kid, he's a little bit of a loser, a little bit not. He's not a total loser like in the original. The gang that screws him over. There's like a Carrie moment in the original. You just feel bad for the guy. You just feel so bad. But we use whoever that, and I'm drawing a blank here. Like, do we here? What is the name of the original Toxic Avenger? I am looking on Melvin Ferd. I believe Melvin Ferd is referenced in the movie, though. So we finally get this transformation, and the transformation sequence that Dinklage has into Toxic Avenger is, well, it's awesome. It's one of the best scenes in the entire movie. And then from there, you know, he discovers his power. He's invincible. He can push out bullets. He can heal himself. At the end, we get the gimmick of him using his blood to help heal someone he's trying to save. This movie's a little bit of a chase whistleblower. They just kidnapped my kid. The guy that kidnapped my kid is going to turn out to be good. So we get all of these elements in this movie. We get. I really like the character. There's like a rap group that's like the henchmen. So they're popular. They're on TV, but they're also murderous henchmen. Very Troma. But getting that balance, it just stuck out big time to me. Now, that doesn't mean that this movie's not fun, it's not entertaining, that it's not, that it doesn't hit the mark. I believe if anyone hasn't seen the Troma films and they watch right, if we don't know the Troma films, if we don't know the flavor, how unique and undefinable the sense of humor is, the type of violence, the make fun of anything type, right? Like a purposely offensive type sense of humor. If you don't watch that, if you don't know what that is, and you sit down and catch this movie, now I'm a little bit disappointed with. See, there's like parts of it, there's this like assassination in the beginning, and you just see these silhouettes and the silhouettes before they harpoon this guy like through the window, and one of them is like this guy with this chicken head, and you're watching and you're saying like, this is trauma. These guys are a little bit scary. They're a little bit too inhumane. Very trauma. But then we get to the end, and Kevin Bacon has his transformation because they extract the blood from Toxie. So he becomes Toxie's opposite, which I absolutely loved. His design, his creature design, a part of the charm of this movie is they're buying things off the rack. They're ordering things off of Amazon or Halloween Spirit. So the costume design and the characters and the wackiness, it's not out of reach, and I like that. So some of that clearly was applied for Kevin Bacon's transformation, but he kind of looks like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And from there, he doesn't look deadly. He doesn't feel deadly. You don't care if he fights Toxie. You want Toxie to win. Toxie wins. So we get a little bit of a disappointment with the ending, but we get this really nice moment where, as Toxic Avenger, the kid finally calls his father, or calls him dad. And that's pretty much what Toxie wanted throughout the entire movie. Now, we also have an in-universe problem. In Tromaville, New Jersey, Toxic Avenger is known, he's heralded, he's available. In this movie, where we have a little bit of the discovery period, the world catches on to Toxie. He's in the news, and it's not quite there. The news segments, though, which echo back to the original Troma, with a red background, spotlights, super cool, right on, like nailed it. But I would watch this movie again. I don't want you guys to think I would. I think this movie is important. There's a side of me that is a little bit upset that it wasn't quite there. And then we have to talk about the design of Toxic here, which he has that giant right black eye because he kind of gets shot in the face when he dies. And they throw him in this toxic waste to get rid of the body. I'm not crazy over that. I feel Toxie should have two pupils. I mean, they designed them perfectly for Saturday morning animation and for mass-produced toy line, Toxic Crusaders. I just wish this movie nailed it a little bit more. Now, that doesn't mean it would have been enough of a success, because clearly we have the sequel in mind with this film. But I want more of this. I think this needs to continue. I think they set it up. But I don't think it made a lot of money. I don't know how much it costs either. So with all of that AKAPAD, it's a little somber. I'm sorry there's not a lot of enthusiasm with this video. It's just my brain's a little bit rattled because it's again, this was a nice update, but not there. And I really feel like I had high expectations, especially knowing that Ryan Krugger, Street Trash. Go, please find that episode. Please listen to it. Watch Street Trash. 2023 came out the same year. Isn't that crazy? 2023, 2024. Street Trash comes out. Ryan Krugger, writer, director, producer, He's got a nice podcast, nice little conversation show too on YouTube. I recommend it. You watch Street Trash, and then you watch this, and you realize the missed opportunity. And sometimes you just have to hire a weirdo to make a weird movie. And that didn't happen here. Now, I don't know. Ryan could be a straight edge. He seems straight edge. But he gets the weird. That's what we're trying to say. So, AKAPADers, Toxic Avenger 2023, released on Amazon Prime in 2025. Finally got to see it.
Roll sound. Rolling.
Sound production,
Let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKAPADers. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment. Give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked. We're forever bound. You're the membrane. I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Okay, back to the show.
Roll sound. Rolling.
Sound production, take 2.
Let's take this time real quick, AKAPADers, my fellow film buffers, and let's just go over the schedule. This is years in the making. This type of rollout I've been planning for years, but we're finally here. So here we go. Early in the morning, that's the new stuff. 8 a.m. Now, 8 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, these are movies maybe of something coming out. Like if there's a Marvel movie coming out and we want to do a retrospective on that particular franchise, or if Sylvester Stallone comes back and gives us Rocky Part 18, we might want to use the later time slots for a week or two to go over all of the Rocky movies. Now, we have a lot of different threads on this podcast that's explored 8 p.m. So 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., this is our creator spotlight. We could do an episode on Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, some of the new guys, Spike Lee, even composers, guys like John Williams. This brings us into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday morning. Again, we're back at that 8 a.m. drop. We do cartoons because I want to emulate the times where you would wake up with a bowl of cereal and watch cartoons all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and then eventually you would get to touch grass because you would have one of your friends knocking on your door to play in a touch football game or even some baseball, basketball. The weekend nights, let's get into education. 8 p.m. Again, all of our drops are either 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. But the weekend nights, documentaries, and I focus on creative documentaries because I feel like a part of this film buff movement that we're all bathing in, that I'm super grateful for, is education. And some of where we're finding our facts, some of the general enjoyment, because I love documentaries, all of this is explored at 8 o'clock p.m. And trust me, there's a lot there. There's a lot out there that I didn't even know existed. And we're going to go beyond that too. We're going to get into some of the graphic art, some of the special effects, some of the makeup documentaries. There's a lot to learn, and I'm so happy to bring you the 9 p.m. because you guys know I'm an autodidact. I am self-educated. Sure, I have some certifications. Sure, I spent time at the Art Institute of Philadelphia for animation. But in large, I'm a self-educated, self-made person that's connected to the weekend 8 p.m. drops. My AKAPADers, my film buffers, I hope to see you there for all of it. I love you guys, and rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap. Okay, that's a wrap.